All right. Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy, Lincoln Clay, the godfather of gaming, the ageless wonder, coming back at you with a post-PC impressions stream, if that's what you want to call it. You know what to do. Hit the bell icon, hit the like button. The rest will take care of itself. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. And excuse my slightly raspy voice, as I just got up, I don't know, roughly about 45 minutes ago, so I still feel a little bit groggy. But wow, where do I start? So as you guys know, my PC took a dump yesterday, the Cyber Power PC, and I was burdened with the task of trying to find another PC. And one thing for certain, I wanted to make sure I got another PC that had close to the same stats as that one did. But I don't know. Thomas Hand, what's up? How's the PC? PC's good. You know, if you want me to, I was going to give the little story, but rather than drag you guys on with the story, I'll give you my thoughts first and then tell you why I came to the conclusion that I did. I think it's a solid computer. I'm no PC expert, and I'm not, and I'm not into competitive gaming. So bear that in mind when I tell you guys what I think of this PC. Jamal Adams, what's up? I think it is a solid PC. I think one second. Got breakfast stuck between my teeth. Okay. Joystick Guru, what is up? I think it's a solid PC, even more so than the Cyber Power PC I had. I mean, with some of the comments that some of you people were making making yesterday, you guys had me hey, Canadian Grizzly Bear, what's up? Thanks. Some of the comments you guys were making yesterday had me scared that, that making me feel like I jumped out of the frying pan and into the fire by getting this Alienware PC and making me, and it was that PC was shit, about $450 more than that Cyber Power PC that I had. So, that had me feeling like I was just throwing money away and that I was just paying for the name. But before I made the final decision to go to Best Buy and get that PC, I did go to the major websites, like Costco, Sam's Clubs, Office Max. I went to those sites, and the brands that they had on that site, sticking with the 2070 was the correct choice. Oh, no. It ain't over yet, Thomas Hand. I got more for you. But I'll tell you the current situation first. So I went to the major websites, and they all basically had the same brands. They had, Alienware, had Dells, they had, HPs, they had Asus, and that was pretty much it as far as pre-built goes. Oh yeah, they had Cyber Power and had iPower. iBuyPower, but I want to make sure I'm not fucking with Cyber Power ever again. And I don't know, because of the way that Best Buy advertises the iBuyPower, with the exact same layout. I was under the impression that Cyber Power and iBuyPower might be, the same company. So I didn't want to, buy another headache. And then the purpose of this Alienware, when I made the decision to get the Alienware, was for it to be a temporary fix. But there was also some things to consider too. One time last week when I was in Best Buy, there was a Dell computer. It cost about $1,150. It had I think it had a 1060 in it. And but the big words that stuck out to me was at the bottom of the description card, you know, giving the specs and all that shit. At the bottom, it said Oculus ready. And that was the big key right there. It specifically said Oculus ready. So I figure, hell, with, you know, since Alienware is, you know, connected to Dell, then I would like to think that those Alienwares, you know, are Oculus ready as well. What's up, Spartan God? So, but again, the big thing was, like you pointed out, Thomas Hand, I wanted to stick with, you know, I wanted to keep the 2070. I don't know how much I would have suffered as far as VR goes with a 1070, but I'm pretty sure I would have suffered for flat screen games. Saris is great. How's the Alienware? It's a solid computer. I think it's even more solid than the CyberPower that I had. Why Fatal Ahmad here? He gonna ban everyone who doesn't like banana. You spelled it banana. Shoot, I made Fatal Ahmad a long time ago, way back when I was doing the Lincoln show. He's been a mod since way back then. So now to break this computer down on this computer versus the CyberPower PC on, you know, specific games. Let me see. Truth be told, I think the only flat screen game that I really had a chance to look at it on the PC was a Set of Course of Competition, because it's both a flat screen game and it supports VR. So I wanted to try it both flat screen and VR. And as far as flat screen goes, so while the silence is actually better than the movie Bird Box, as far as flat screen goes, the graphics was give or take, you know, well, the graphics was the same. Yo, what's up, Sick? I'm giving my thoughts on this Alienware. You want to come in here? I mean, we can do a double play and talk about this Alienware PC that I picked up, as well as you giving me your thoughts on how you feel about Oculus. All right, one link coming up. Stand by. Copy. Twitter. PlayStation Plus podcast. PlayStation Plus podcast. Xbox is to blame. There you go, Sick. We'll see you in a second. So, you know, while I'm waiting for Sick to get here, bottom line is on the flat screen game, when I was looking at a Set of Corsa, I did not notice any difference in the graphics. Now, the big thing that stood out was the VR. This computer is definitely better than the CyberPower PC when it comes to VR, because I've had minimal blur in the background. I mean, I had to really look for it. I had to really squint my eyes to try to see if there was any background blur on VR. And so then last night before I went to bed, I downloaded Project Cars 2 again on this PC, because that is the game that was the VR game that did look blurry on the previous computer. So this morning I got up and tried it out, In the background, there was virtually no blur in the background. They never bought a PC from BB, but on the invoice they do give any listings of the hardware parts. Because when I ordered my old current Dell online, the invoice also said all the hardware parts. Okay, cool. So yeah, the big thing was Project Cars 2 was the big thing. Two things. Okay, so the only thing with Project Cars 2, it had the same problem as the previous computer, except the other computer was worse, and that's with the anti-aliasing. A lot of shiny edges and shit.
Yo. Can you hear me?
Man, what's good? Let me throw this little tidbit at him real quick, and we can get into this.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So all in all, Project Cars 2 looked better on the Alienware than it did on the CyberPower. So then I went over to Zero Caliber. And when you're walking around in the lobby, up in the corner, you have a number that's showing what your frame rate is. And so on the previous computer, I think basically the frame rate was the same. It dropped as low. The frame rate dropped as low as 86, but it went as high as 93. So for the most part, I was getting the same frame rates. So I'm good with that. So shit, I was like, hindsight's 2020, but I don't know. I guess if I was going to go that far, I'm beginning to think I probably should have went ahead and dropped the extra $200 and got the higher Alienware that had the i7. This Alienware I had has an i5. This one that I could have upgraded to has a i7 and a 2080, whereas I got a 2070. And I won't rule that out. I may very well take this Alienware back and go ahead and drop the extra $200 and get that one. If it's going to be a temporary fix or whatever the case may be, then I might as well go ahead and go to the top of the line with it. So, yeah, I see you type that in the Sick. Since you're in here, yeah, go ahead and let's chime in on that right now. So I'm not going to rule that out. I very well may pack that computer up today and take it back and go get the one with the i7. Because one thing about Best Buy, they definitely don't give you a problem when you want to upgrade. They let you upgrade faster than they give your money back. I mean, they give you your money back without a hassle. But if you say, hey, I bought this computer, there's nothing wrong with it, I just brought it back because I want to upgrade, they were like, oh sure, go ahead, go get what you want and bring it up front, then we'll ring it up. So with that being said, damn, this is gonna kill my fucking data cap. I'm gonna go over again, but yeah, I very well may do that right now. I say right now 60-40 says that I go ahead and take that one back and go upgrade, because it was about another $200 to get a 2080, and like I said, get the i7. So all right, what's good with you, Sick?
Hold on, give me 1 second.
All
right, so as far as the computer that you have now, I don't think anything will be wrong with it as far as gaming goes, because games only utilize a certain amount of cores to begin with. It's not like they would be utilizing the full 8 cores anyway. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's some that do, but for the most part, the majority don't. However, you definitely want to future-proof yourself again, because you don't really want to be upgrading all the time. Like one of the computers that I've had for about 10 years, and I've never did an upgrade until I upgraded to the 1600X.
Damn, and that was 10 years to upgrade?
Well, yeah, and the only reason why I did that is because I needed the extra cores, because I have a dedicated PC for streaming.
Okay.
Meaning I offload everything from my gaming PC to that PC, so that the resources on the gaming PC aren't used to stream at the same time, which is why you'll see that my streams will have games that have higher frame rates and a much higher resolution than most people, because when they stream, they want to stream at 720p or 1080p so that it doesn't tax their GPU so hard. Usually these games are GPU intensive, which is even worse because it utilizes about 99% of the GPU. And then people try and use the NVENC encoder on the OBS, and boy, that does not turn out well. That does not turn out well. Even with my Ryzen 2700X, trying to stream games at high fidelity and high frame rates turned into a shit show. And that's why I saw it fit to build a dedicated PC simply for streaming. So it has my 4K capture card and everything in it. And I literally offload everything from my gaming PC to that streaming PC. And that has worked wonders for me.
Okay, so let me understand this. So when you do a game stream, you play in a one PC and the other PC is streaming it?
That's correct.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Y'all too advanced for me.
Well, you'll find out, man. Like if you try to stream like a really intense game, such as let's say Gears of War, or depending on what it is that you plan on playing on PC, if it's one of those really intensive games, then you're gonna find out quick. Even if you have a great processor and everything, trying to get one computer to do everything is gonna turn into a shit show. I mean, if you drop everything completely low, then you won't have those type of problems. But you don't want to play the game at low fidelity just to stream it, because that defeats the purpose. You didn't buy a gaming PC to stream at low resolutions. Like, but that's the trade-off. That's the trade-off. And I just don't, I can't have the trade-off. So, I had to make some changes. It cost me about say about $300-400 to build a gaming PC. Keep in mind, I did have the
what the fuck? Hold on. You still with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right. Shit, I had got a screen that said an error occurred. Try back later. Okay, we still live.
No, but yeah, man. I mean, here's the thing, man. I've been PC gaming for a very, 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 very long time. I actually was gaming on PC at the early stages when emulators had just become a big thing, when you needed like a beastly voodoo card to run like N64 emulators and shit like that. That's when I've been gaming since then on PC. However, like I said, PlayStation came in, man, and they just made it a thing where you want to go for the games, dog, and that's exactly what I did. And then PC kind of dropped off, meaning that consoles had exceeded what the PC was capable of at one point, and now it'll never happen again. Consoles will never meet PC specs ever again because they're already light years ahead. And in order for these manufacturers to make these consoles, they got to be able to make them cheap. And when you make them cheap, you're going to have to cut corners somewhere. So it's never going to happen again. Me personally, I like the balance though, because I mean, when I want the simplicity, I go for PlayStation gaming. When I really want to go for raw power, when I really want to play those games at the best frame rates, at the highest fidelity and stuff like that, that's when I go to PC. And the funny thing is, it's easy for people to talk shit about PC gaming because they're not PC gaming. When they finally do get to PC gaming, it's going to be a totally different story. Which is why I laugh when I hear people talking shit about like, oh man, you having all these problems with your PC, man. Yeah, that's a cry for help, dog, because everything y'all love about these consoles now is based off of PC. Everything. Niggas is talking about teraflops, CPUs, GPUs, all kind of shit. And that's PC lingo, dog. You want a PC without having to build a PC, which is still a PC.
Because of what virtual reality has brought to the PC landscape, I could have had 10 PCs break and I would have still stuck with it.
Well, it's a different beast. So when it comes to PlayStation VR versus what I've been playing with the Oculus, there's a few things, right? So PlayStation VR to me is a more comfortable headset. Oculus is cool, but the PlayStation is more fitted, I would say, for bigger size heads, because I got a huge fucking head. And if I'm playing the VR and I have on my glasses and shit, it's a pain in the ass putting on the Oculus. Whereas the PlayStation VR slips right on and it's ready to go. Another thing about the Oculus is I hate
Let
the padding.
me stop you right there. You, according to Impatient Fire, I think you can use something like a Trinus app or something, which will allow you to use your PlayStation
No,
headset on the PC.
not gonna happen. See, again, you gotta let me go through all the pros and cons first.
Okay.
So that's what I like better when it comes to PlayStation VR. Also, I like the simplicity of PlayStation VR. You got one wire that comes out of the back, goes to the breaker box, and then you got the wires that go to the breaker box and also the camera that plugs in. But even then, I feel like the PlayStation VR is a lot neater as far as wiring goes than the Oculus, because the Oculus has more individual pieces. And now that I'm adding the third sensor, as I showed you, I ordered the third sensor. And let me tell you why I ordered that third sensor. I ordered that third sensor. It just happened to be after you were telling me about you getting the third sensor that I finally got around to going to the Steam VR store. And most of their games tell you that a lot of those VR games require you to have the 360 whatever, and you can't do 360 VR without having the third actual sensor, because you need the two in the front and then the one in the back for it to be able to pick up from all different angles.
Mhm.
Either that or I'm really mistaken and wasted $60. But regardless, I don't really give a fuck about the $60. It is what it is. Anyway, a lot of the games that I played, I noticed that a lot of the games on Steam VR don't have full locomotion, whereas a lot of the games on PlayStation VR gives you the option to either teleport or to have the actual movement. I like actual movement more than the teleport and shit,
Yeah.
just because it's a little disorienting. As far as the PlayStation VR goes, I would still think that the PlayStation VR is a much better buy than the Oculus. Let me tell you why. Simply because of this. PlayStation VR, you spending $200 for the headset, you spending what, $200 to $400 for the PlayStation,
Mhm.
depending on which one you prefer. If you prefer, the better resolution and frame rates and stuff like that, you're gonna go for the Pro. You're gonna end up spending what, $350, $400, whatever it may cost you, plus
Mhm.
the $200, $250 for the headset. So that's a whopping $650 right there spending to get into VR. Versus if you really want to go for a little bit better resolution, because a lot of these games don't have better resolution. Some of them do, but for the most part, from what I've seen, it's been comparable to
Yeah.
what you get with PlayStation VR. However, I haven't tried enough games yet, but what I will say is Robo Recall so far, because I haven't played Lone Echo, but Robo Recall is one of the best looking VR games I've ever seen, hands down. And the feature set, the movement set, being able to use the controllers to fucking rip heads off and fucking beat them with their own limbs, like that game is freaking amazing, yo. Love that game. But just price wise, a lot of people ain't gonna go out and spend $1,000 on a PC, and I'm only saying 1,000 at minimum. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? At 1,000 minimum, they're not gonna go spend 1,000 minimum and then spend $300, $400 for a headset. A lot of people just not gonna be willing to do that, and I completely understand. I completely understand. But if you want the better VR experience, you definitely gonna want to go with the Oculus or possibly even the HTC Vive. I haven't thus far used the HTC Vive, but I mean, if you want the best of the best of the best, then definitely you're gonna want to go with the Oculus. Because so far as tracking goes, as far as movement, everything's is 1,000 times better than PlayStation VR. Now, the reason why I say this is, remember when you play like let's just say gun games with PlayStation VR, the camera, the tracking issues, the gun swaying either left or swaying either right, or slowly moving to the left or slowly moving to the right. And it just looks weird when you're in PlayStation VR because your hands are always fluttering because the camera is trying to keep up with the
Yeah.
actual move controllers or whatever type of joystick you have. Whereas with the Oculus, to be honest with you, I don't know how the fuck they fit Rumble in those little touch controllers, but they made that shit happen. Not only did they put Rumble in there, but I don't even know what the hell those little things connect to. And to be honest with you, I feel like the Oculus is a platform within itself. Fuck PC. I feel like the Oculus itself is a platform within itself. The reason why is because most of the stuff you see in the headset, people don't see outside. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure there's a way for you to be able to do it where they can see what you see. But let's say if I wanted to take you into my Oculus home or into my Steam home, my Steam VR home.
Yeah.
They can't see that. But we can see it with the headset on. And like, it's crazy. Like, think of PlayStation Home taken to the next level. For all of y'all who know what PlayStation Home is, think of PlayStation Home taken to the next level. That's
have you moved around inside that Oculus home?
I have. I've actually
have you customized your avatar yet?
I customized my avatar. I put TVs on the wall. I put a basketball hoop on the other wall. I'm gonna go back because I need to change the flooring. That's the main thing I was looking at. But you know, I was in a rush while I was doing it because I only had so much time before I had to go to sleep because I had to get up and go to work. So now I'm off for the next 4 days. I am going to be Oculus-tastic with it. Like, I'm definitely going to spend a lot of time with that. Then when I finish with Oculus Home, then I'm going to Steam Home, because Steam Home, I feel like they do it even better than Oculus Home. Have you went to your Steam Home and actually?
No, not really, man. Because it's like I jumped straight into the games. The one time I moved around in my Oculus Home, I did it by accident, and so I went in front of the mirror, saw what I looked like, and then realized that I could customize my avatar. So
yep,
I customized my avatar, you know, and then to I guess to like test the 360 tracking. This was before I bought a third sister. I had grabbed the coat rack that was inside my home and was throwing it around and shit.
Okay. Yeah, no, and it's, how can I say this? I know the next VR that PlayStation comes out with is going to be amazing. And the reason why is because I can see what they're striving to get to. And the VR market is growing heavily. Nvidia just announced, I'm not sure if you heard, but that there was 4 million PC VR sold thus far, they're saying. And then when you add that to the 4.3 something million PlayStation VRs, that's 8 million VRs that's in homes right now.
It's growing.
So it's growing. I mean, the thing is, everything in life takes time. And especially when you're trying to grow a new market, I feel like HTC Vive, the Facebook Oculus, and the PlayStation VR, they have put this VR shit on their backs. You know what I'm saying? And if you think about it, of course, PlayStation's still outselling all of them. But the simple fact of the matter is, there's so many games on Steam and Oculus that I would have never known about if I would have just stuck with PlayStation VR. And that's not to say, like I said, PlayStation VR is great. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a great entry-level VR. I think that the camera just fucks a lot of shit up for the PlayStation VR. And the thing is, a lot of the VR games don't suffer from the whole tracking bullshit. But then again, there's a lot of games that do. And Oculus, and I would imagine Vive, have rectified this issue totally. Like, you don't have those issues whatsoever, at least from the games I played. And they have this game where I was sitting around and I was just drawing 3D pictures. Like, I was in a freaking canvas and I was able to literally draw with the Oculus controller. Like, that shit was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now, one thing that I am waiting for on a PlayStation VR is that Dreams PSVR. Because I definitely plan on spending a lot of time in Dreams, because I want to create a lot of stuff in Dreams. Thus far, I haven't had any problems. I'm going to tell you something that's weird, though. PlayStation VR never made me feel sick, queasy, whatever. Oculus VR makes me sleepy as fuck. And when I take off the Oculus VR, my eyes are like bloodshot red. And it happens every single time. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure why, but that shit irritates the fuck out of my eyes after like extended use. I never have that with PlayStation VR. I'm not sure what it is they do with their lenses. I'm not sure if it happens to you, but like my eyes were like freaking bloodshot red and I had a fucking headache out of this world. But I never at any point in time felt queasy, felt sick or nauseous or anything like that. But I got to figure out why it is that the Oculus is just irritating the fuck out of my eyes. Because again, that never happened with the PlayStation VR. And I'm not sure if it's the resolution. The resolution definitely looked cleaner. Super Lucky's Tale looks super clean in VR. I'm sorry, it does.
No, I don't have anything against that, especially knowing that that was not originally, Microsoft shit. With them taking Super Lucky's Tale, the way it's just the way Microsoft handled the Super Lucky's Tale to me. They acted like that was the reason why you should buy an Xbox One X once it came out that Crackdown was delayed, because you remember the Crackdown was supposed to be a launch title for the Xbox One X. Yeah. So Crackdown got delayed. Then Microsoft started acting like Super Lucky's Tales was the reason why you should buy an Xbox One X. Like, are you kidding me?
Nah, it's definitely not the reason to buy a more powerful machine, because it's not about that. But if you're into platformers and stuff like that, then you'll love Super Lucky's Tale VR. Even if you don't like the flat screen Lucky Tales VR, you will definitely love the VR. I think VR is so great because it's so immersive. It actually puts you in those worlds. Like, I just bought Project Cars and some other stuff.
Project Cars or Project Cars 2?
It's Project Cars 1.
Okay.
I'm gonna give Project Cars 1 a spin, but I'm definitely, if I decide I like it, I'm gonna go ahead and get Project Cars 2.
I would advise you. I'm sure you know about this site, but I would advise you to check out Humble Bumble and G2A. Like, if you make the decision to go ahead and buy Project Cars 2, definitely check out G2A, because they saved me some money, because Project Cars 2 I think was still going for $60 on Steam, and I ended up getting it off of G2A for like $25.
Right. Yeah, no, I already know about Humble Bundle, as well as G2A, as well as Green Man Gaming, as well as some other sites out there that actually sell PC games really cheap. You can also
so you already know that you're gonna check one of them spots out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Listen, my Steam library is huge because of that. A lot of games I bought for like $1.50, 78 cents.
Okay, so so tell me about Project Cars, because I tried, I got Project Cars 2, and this morning I did a night race in VR.
Right.
And like, unlike Drive Club, which is absolutely horrible for night races, the blur on that game is unbearable. You cannot see a corner until you get there.
Right.
In the case of Project Cars 2, I could see everything. I could. There was like, again, with this Alienware PC, regardless of what people have to say about this PC, I virtually saw no blur in the background. Even at night, I could still see the corners coming up. Now, granted, I'm racing with a full grid of cars. I'm racing with 16 cars, and all of them got bright ass lights. So that also helped me to see the corners too. That's a real life situation. The only thing that stood out to me was the anti-aliasing. There's a lot of silver edges.
Of course.
But it was worse on the other computer. So, I know it is what it is. I mean, but for the most part, with this Alienware, I put it this way: with the CyberPower PC, Project Cars 2 in VR on the Oculus looked about the same as GT Sport on the PlayStation VR, but on this Alienware is cleaner. It's a fact. I'm not trying to sound like some disillusioned dude who's trying to justify the money that I spent. It's a fact. The Project Cars 2 looks cleaner on this Alienware PC than it did on that CyberPower.
Nah, you're not. See, this is the thing. Another thing that you have to know about PC gaming is that you have a 2070, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, there's different manufacturers who make 2070s Most of them use the same chipset, but they're different manufacturers. They're clocked different. So you might actually be seeing an improvement because you might have a better version of the 2070 that you have. Like I have two 1080 Ti's, and my 1080 Ti's, I have one that's a Asus Strix 1080 Ti, and I also have a Duke 1080 Ti. The Asus Strix shits on the Duke 1080 Ti, but together they morph into a fucking they morph into an Autobot. They transform. It comes alive, man. It comes alive. I can't be mad. Can't be mad at all.
That's what's up. So, so tell me about how Project Cars 2 looked in VR. I mean, did you have any blur? Did you have a bunch of shiny edges, jaggies? What you have?
I literally just bought the game this morning.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just downloaded it and everything. I haven't even had a time to actually boot it up. Because as I was going to YouTube, of course, I was getting ready to go to my live stream. I was like, oh shit, Lincoln's live. So I dropped into your video. But what I will say though, man, is hands down, there's definitely better, cleaner looking images within the Oculus. That's without a doubt. And again, for the amount of money that you're going to pay for the PlayStation VR, I still would say I would recommend the PlayStation VR for somebody who's not really sure if they want to get into VR gaming just at the moment. The only reason why is because it's a cheaper alternative, and it only has a $600, gateway to get into it. And, for the most part, the majority of people already own a PlayStation. So really, it'll only be like a $200 gateway for them to get into it.
Yeah.
When it comes to PC gaming, when it comes to the Oculus, you have to have specific types of graphics cards in order to be able to run those games efficiently. Don't get me wrong, the specs aren't outrageous for VR, for any VR. You know what I mean? And with the Oculus, they actually brought the specs down from what they were requiring before. And I think you can go as low as having an AMD 390 or something like that. And I think you can use something on the NVIDIA side as low as like a 970. So, the specs aren't really that high, but if you want the best possible performance out of your VR, of course, you're not going to want to go cheap. And then, so I would still recommend the PlayStation VR over the Oculus just for price sake, because I mean, come on, that's literally what's going to be the biggest issue for anybody trying to adopt the Oculus. They're like, okay, I'll get the Oculus, but oh shit, now I gotta buy a new graphics. I gotta buy a new graphics card. Oh, I gotta upgrade the memory that's in my PC, and that'll just turn into a whole other situation. But if you're an enthusiast and you really like VR, or you're really interested in getting the best possible performance out of VR, I would definitely tell you to go for the Oculus even over the Vive, because while the Vive may have a slightly better resolution, it's not going to be much of a gain over the Oculus. Right. So it's not going to make sense for you to go out and spend $700 versus spending $350 to $400. And that makes the sense. And I looked at, before I even buy it, because I was going to get the Vive over the Oculus. I was going to go for the Vive over the Oculus. But when I started looking at all these different videos with people doing different tests and seeing what their results were, most people came out with the same results. They're like, hey, if you want to spend the extra money to get, a little slightly better resolution, then go for the Vive. But then I was like, that don't really make sense. If you're telling me the Oculus looks just as good, you know what I'm saying? Like that it didn't make a lot of sense to me. And to be honest with you, I'm very happy with the Oculus. I love the setup. I love the software that comes with it. I love how you can jump out of the game and jump into this little virtual control panel within the headset. Again, y'all can't see the shit that we see, but we see a whole little deck in front of us where you can either switch to the virtual desktop, go to your library to see your other games. Like, it just looks amazing. And I haven't had any problems with VR thus far. All my games run at 90 plus frames per second. Again, if I can keep it locked, I haven't seen any graphical options for VR yet, so I'm assuming that it's already locked to guaranteed specs for the headset.
It
But thus
depends.
far,
It depends on the game. Some of them have settings that give you a choice to choose resolution or choose performance. One at the expense of the other.
well, see, that's the great thing, and that's why I spent so much money getting the graphics cards that I did, because I won't have to make that actual compromise. So it's, I got to see what games will actually do that. What games have you played so far that have given you those options?
Zero Caliber is one of them because the first time I popped Zero Caliber in, the anti-alias and the shiny edges was so bad. I was like, I'm not fucking with this game again. But then I went back in there and I went into the settings and I was able to clean it up a little bit.
Was that
And
the military shooter game that you were reloading the bullets and like you had to pull the clip out and pull the pin back and all this other shit just
see, a
to
lot of
take
those
over the gun?
games like that are really interactive like that. It's not one particular game I'm finding out like that. A lot of
Mhm.
these first-person shooter games seem to be the same, where you got your belt and you got your clips, your sidearm, your knife, your grenades, all that stuff, and you reach down and pull it and physically pull the pin out before you throw it. So with that being said, I've got like 3 games that fit that criteria, and that's Zero Caliber, Contractors, and Onward. And all
Right.
3 of them are popular games. But Zero Caliber was the game where I was able to clean up some of those shiny edges, and it made a big difference in the appearance. Um,
Okay.
but I do want you to educate me on one thing though.
I already know what you're gonna ask. You gonna ask me about the chat and how to get the chat in the VR,
Well,
right?
yeah, I mean, eventually I'm going to get to that because, like, I guess while we on that subject right now,
Yeah.
I do know how to stream, uh, from
Shadow Play?
Streamlabs. What I
Oh,
don't,
okay. No,
the 2
Streamlabs.
things that I'm having a problem with is one is I don't know how to put that chat overlay inside the headset, like you were talking about.
Super easy. Super easy. As a matter of fact, I'll send you the video that I used to figure out how to even make that happen. Also, when you go into your Oculus, you have to go into the settings, and then there's an option that says beta all the way to the right. You click on that, and then you turn the beta feature on. Once you turn the beta feature on, then when you go to the window, you'll go to your actual stream. Before you start streaming the game, you'll go to your actual stream on YouTube, you'll pop the chat out, and then you'll take your Oculus Touch, and you'll basically pull that chat window from out of the virtual desktop and put it in your VR space.
What?
Yeah. Once you put it in the VR space, you can pin it to wherever it's comfortable for you. It's really easy, dude.
Can you do that from the GeForce, or you have to do that from Streamlabs?
I don't use GeForce, so I really wouldn't know. I don't use GeForce at
So
all.
you basically doing like using the beta. So when you use the beta settings, are you doing that? Is that beta setting in the Streamlabs, or are you doing that from the Oculus settings?
No, you do that from the Oculus settings. It's going, once you enable that, it's going to download the update to your headset, and then you're going to have to restart your headset. Once you restart the headset, get back into the visuals, then you'll be able to make the changes. It's really easy though. And the great thing that I love about it is I can see the chat in my virtual VR space, but nobody can see the chat on the actual stream.
Okay.
So it works really, really well.
Shoot, people like Gamertag VR, he took it to the next level. His is rigged up where his headset is rigged up where everything people type into the chat, a voice plays it back for him.
Yeah, see, I could do that. I just don't like that. That's annoying, and I feel like it'll be an interruption.
I
I feel
get
like it'll
you.
be an interruption. That's why I wouldn't do something like that, because you could do that with the PlayStation as well. When you're streaming, you can have the voice where it speaks what you type and stuff like that. Nah, I'd rather just be able to see the chat, because what I do is I put it out of my field of view. So I'll hang the chat like all the way to the upper right, right?
Mhm.
And then I would have to literally turn my head to the right to see the chat. So I think that just works out a little bit better for me, because I see it in real time. and I don't have to worry about hearing like a voice trying to read what people are writing. And sometimes it gets it wrong. Like it'll say just some wild shit. But
Okay.
yeah, no, it's really simple to do. It's really simple to do. Once you get it packed, once you get it down packed, then you'll know how to set it up each and every time you get ready to stream.
Okay. And then the other thing that I'm dealing with as far as Streamlabs goes, every time I was trying to stream from Streamlabs, here's what was happening. You know, as far as the Streamlab goes, I would type in the title of whatever I'm streaming. So
Right.
I automatically thought that's was going to be the title of the YouTube stream. It didn't automatically put that title into the YouTube stream. Instead, what it would end up doing was it would overwrite one of my videos that was already in the library. So so that's where that's what made me stop using the Streamlabs, because I had already lost about 3 videos because of that shit. I had lost one of like I'm playing Beat Saber, and you know, I took my headset off so I could see the chat, and they like, huh? You know, how you playing Beat Saber and it says MLB The Show? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? So what happened was that Beat Saber stream overwrit, you know, it overwrit, you know, however you want to say it, that MLB stream.
Wow.
rather than creating a new stream.
Yeah, you got to remember Streamlabs OBS is still in beta, so a lot of the functionality that they put in don't actually work.
So how do you create a new one? Because like so now that it led me to the belief that I would have to, okay, I type in the title on Streamlabs and then I go to the YouTube studio and then try to type in a new title, and then when I start up the Streamlabs, it will go into the YouTube studio and pick up that title that I typed in before starting the stream.
Well, see,
that's my belief. So fill me in.
Well, what I do when I set up the stream, because with Streamlabs, all I do is hit stream now. I turned off that little message that pops up that tries to get you to put in the title of the video and the tags and all of that. I got rid of that. In the VR headset, I literally open up the web browser and I can go and set up my live stream now there. And then all I have to do is hit stream now on my other keyboard, and then I'm ready to go. Because again, like I said, I have 2 computers. I have one computer that's dedicated to streaming, which doesn't interfere with the other computer at all, which is dedicated to gaming. I told you, man, everything I do, there's always a method to my madness, man. People are like, oh, man, you spending a lot of money on this.
Sound like showing off to me.
Nah, it works. It works, man. It works. Nah, but you know what? It took for a lot of times for me to see like my stream, like playing my stream back on a replay and seeing like the frame rates like dipping and dropping. But see, that's the problem. On my end in the game, it never dropped. However, with Streamlabs, when Streamlabs try to render what you're doing in real time on the same PC that you're playing the game on, it just doesn't have enough overhead, so everything just starts lagging. And that's what playing just regular flat screen games. I haven't tried it with VR, but since I already have my setup set up the way I have it set up, you know, I don't really have a need to try it. I just set it up the way I set it up. That way I can hear everything, I can talk to the people, and you know, I can see my chat at the same time.
Okay, I have to be honest. On the previous computer, the resolution was set at 720, but it was actually it shows that it's actually displaying in like 680 or something like that. But
what's displaying in 680?
Like with the GeForce, you know, when I'm going through the settings by default, you know, based on my internet connection and all that other shit,
right,
720p is the recommended resolution for my streams. So it'll show what the recommended resolution is, or maybe that was on, no, that might have been on Streamlabs. I might have seen that on Streamlabs. What the recommended resolution is, and then what the resolution will actually be once it starts up. I can't remember it because that Streamlabs, I was like getting really frustrated with that shit. But never mind that. It's just some minor shit. So talk to me about the question I was going to ask you about is talk to me about liquid cool versus air cool.
Well, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Liquid cool versus air cool, depending on how you have your fans set up with your radiator and things like that, air cool could actually be more efficient than liquid cooling. It's sad to say, but it's a reality that I've seen in certain scenarios. Um, I would always go for liquid cooling just because it's cleaner to me, and you don't have a big heat sink sitting over your processor, and it gives you more space to basically, showcase your computer. Because as you know, my computer has a glass on the side of it, and I really don't want to have, all of the lights and the fancy gizmos and stuff in there, and then have all of that overshadowed by a big, huge heat sink sitting in the middle of it. So me personally, I went for the liquid cooling for the looks. And also, it literally keeps my Ryzen 2700 around maybe 25, 26 degrees Celsius. So, you know, I really, honestly, I can't even compare it to my Hyper 212. My Hyper 212, when I say that, that's actually my air cooler that I've used for the longest, and it was a really good air cooler. I've never had any problems with it, and the fan on it is huge. However, you need a lot of space to actually put that Hyper 212 cooler in your system. But once you have it in there, I don't I don't foresee you having any issues keeping the rig cool. But however, with my all-in-one liquid cooling, I never really have a problem, and I feel like my machine runs much quieter than if I had air cooler. Because when it's an air cooler, the fans are much bigger. I mean, and I'm pretty sure you can probably change it out for some silent fans, but for the most part, nobody really wants to go through changing fans after you've bought a cooler. I mean, but if you must, you have to do what you have to do. But even now, like I have two computers running where I'm at right now, and I'm pretty sure y'all can't hear either one of them.
No, I have to admit, both PCs that I had was quiet. The Cyber Power Wars PC, it was air cooled,
Yeah.
but it was quiet. And so is this Alienware. This Alienware version is liquid cooled, and it was pretty much don't make any noise.
Cyrus is also right there with what he's saying. Liquid cooling is usually for people who want to do a lot of overclocking on the CPU. So that is a great point that he brought up. However, I don't even do any. I did a mild overclock with my Ryzen, and it's like stable at 4.2, I believe. But outside of that, I really don't do overclocking. But it is, I mean, it's definitely a looker, especially with those RGB lights on the fans and stuff, depending on how you have your setup, though.
Now, I do have to admit, when I bought that Cyber Power PC, that was the first thing that caught my eye was those pretty lights because it had like a dual. It looked like it had dual intake fans that had lighted rings around those, and then the exhaust fan had a lighted ring around it, and then it had lights at the top, so it looked like a disco show. That caught my eye first before I even looked at the specs. And so I looked at the specs, and then I was like, okay, because my thinking was that a dude that I work with, he built the computer about a year and a half ago, I think,
Right.
and he put a 1070 in there, which I think at the time that he put that 1070 in there, I think the 1080s was the latest shit.
That's my rig. My rig in the room has a 1070 in it.
Okay, so I was thinking to myself that I needed at the very least I needed a 1070 to be able to run VR because he's got a HTC Vive. So when I bought that Cyber Power and they had that RTX 2070 in it, I said, okay, that should be more than enough to run VR.
Right. No, and it is. It is. The 2070 that you have, I believe it's on par with the 1080 as far as like raw power.
Mhm.
and it might even outperform it in certain scenarios. But that's really where that 2070 is. But nonetheless, it's a great card, especially for what you want to do. It's great. It's great.
Okay. So yeah, let me see. It's a little after 12. See, I gotta pick my son up at 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish I should have just went ahead and did it yesterday.
Wait, you're gonna take the computer back?
More than likely.
Yo, I can hear it in your voice. You already figure. I know you go do it. What i7 is coming with that that other computer? Is it the 6 series i7, 6700, 7700, 8700?
Let me hold
I
on.
believe they got an i9 9900K at this point, but from what I'm seeing,
It is a i7 8700.
8700. Okay. That's actually not that bad, because if you look up the price for that processor, you probably ain't gonna find it no less than like maybe like 350, $400 for that
Okay,
processor.
so let's go to the computer that I got. Here it is. It's got an i5.
What generation? 5, 6, 7?
It said ninth. I believe it said when I read it, it said ninth generation i5.
Yeah,
It says
let's
ninth.
do a little comparison.
Yeah, it says ninth gen Intel Core i5 9600K.
9600K versus the 8700K. Is it the 8700K or just the 8700?
Okay, so my computer has the 9600K. Let me go back to that other one that's got the 2080 in it, in the i7.
Ooh, if you get that 2080, you're gonna have much better performance. For a fact.
So
nah, man, the i7 8700K shits on the i5
say what?
9600K. The i5 8700K, it shits on the i5 80
So this doesn't say
9700K.
8700. It says i7 8700 processor. Not, I'm sorry, but it doesn't say 8700K.
Oh, it doesn't say 8700K.
It's
Yeah,
87.
you know what? Can you send me a link to the PC you're about to buy?
Yep.
All right, and I'm gonna send you this link. This is just a basic. This is where I go when I want to look at the differences between the different processors and stuff that I'm thinking about getting. So you definitely want to take a look at this. If I can ever find the chat. Jesus, where is the chat? I'm gonna just send it. I'm gonna just put it in the regular chat.
Okay, hold on. I found you. Get ready to send you that link right now.
You sending it to me on Twitter or through the chat Hangout?
Yeah, directly on DM'd you on Twitter.
All right, let me go on.
So I just sent it to you.
Oh, yep, there we go. All right, let's see what we got here. Damn, $2,099.
But the one I bought, see, both of them is on sale.
That ain't really no sale though.
Well, like the one that I bought, I paid $18.50 for it, but I guess it's normally like $150 more.
Right.
Same thing with the one with the 2080. It's $20.99. We'll just say $2,100.
Right. Well, I'm gonna tell you, most of that money that you're spending on this is for that that GeForce RTX 280. The 1 TB hard drive you can find dirt cheap.
Oh yeah.
The 256 GB solid state drive you can find dirt cheap. The i7 is going to cost you about $400, so let's just say about $800 for that graphics card, and then about $400 for that processor. That's $1,200. That really makes up the bulk of what you're actually paying for in this rig, because it comes with what, 16 GB of memory, which you're going to find out real quick. You're probably going to want to upgrade that. Let's see. Reams of high bandwidth DDR4. And the thing I don't like about this is it shows you the specs, but it doesn't really go into. Wait, no, I think it may. Yep, it's just the i7 8700. It does have a liquid cooling system, which is great. It has 14 USB ports. It has 5 of which are USB 2.0 Type A ports. Let's see.
You still looking at the Alienware?
Yeah.
Okay, I counted the ports on the one that I got. I think it's got 12 USB ports and it's got 4 USB 3.0 ports.
Right. They killing you on this RAM too, man, because you can get the RAM 16 gigabytes for like $100, dog. And you can get it clocked at 3200 megahertz, which is even crazier because this one is only clocked at 2666 megahertz.
Okay, give me a second because they want me to put the link in the chat. I'll put both links in there for y'all. I'll put the link to the PC that I bought and the one that I'm looking at upgrading to. Alienware desktops.
Nah, I would definitely go for the K over the regular i7 8700.
Then
Again, it leaves more room just in case you do want to dibble and dabble and some overclocking. You'll be able to do so with this one.
So you basically telling me I could, probably just stay with the one I got then.
Well, if you're not going to overclock it, to be honest with you, the 2080 is definitely a plus. The i7 8700 would still be better than the i5 that you have in there. Let me see what the actual benchmarks will be for that, though. i5 9600K versus i7 8700. Not K. Let's take the K off that one.
Let me come back to the chat. All right, folks. Let's see here. Paste.
Nah.
That's right there. That's the link right there, folks, to the PC, to the Alienware that I do have. Now I'm getting ready to place the link to the one that I was thinking about upgrading to. So.
Yeah, with the i7 8700, the regular just i7 8700, the 9600K actually has slightly faster single core speed, and slightly faster quad core speed.
Okay.
Now, as far as multi-core speed, because you got to remember it has 6 cores and 12 threads, whereas the i5 9600K has 6 cores, 6 threads. So it looks like the only way this i7 8700 wins is when it comes to multi-core speed. That's pretty much it. The i5 is cheaper. The i7 8700 is more energy efficient, as it only uses 65 watts versus 95 watts for the i5 9600K. But the extra wattage, I'm sure, is because that i5 9600K is overclockable.
Yeah, J Dubs hit me up on Steam yesterday in the Steam Messenger and told me that that you can overclock the at 9700, 9600, whatever. So
yeah, you can, because it's the 9600K. You can actually go in and overclock it, but it's already shitting on the i7 8700 already. Regardless, it's shitting on it based on price point. It's shitting on it based on single core and quad core speeds. And of course, when it comes to games, like I said, you're very rarely gonna find a game, so to speak, that's going to utilize every core and every thread. It's just not going to happen. So really, it won't even be worth it. It won't be worth it. The only thing that would be worth it is the upgrade from the 2070 to the 2080. The CPU wise, you're not going to see any real world difference.
Okay, and that was the biggest reason why I was thinking about upgrading to that PC, was because of the CPU.
No, if you're happy with what you got now, just keep what you got now.
Okay, I'm good. Lunkin, you said Vive or Oculus, planning on picking up one later this month. You know what? Not to say this, Sick, I think you and me are lucky that we were able to get an Oculus Rift before they ran out of them, because once they introduced the Oculus Rift S, they stopped manufacturing the Oculus Rift, and that's one of the reasons why it was $350. That was the permanent price, so they could go ahead and clean out inventory to get ready for the Rift S. Right. And that's another reason why they were so hard to find. They was flying off of shelves, and we was lucky to get one before they ran out. I don't know if they're out completely, but I know they still hard to get right now.
Holy crap. And it's no longer $350. That shit costs nearly $800. It costs $150 now.
For what?
For the Oculus Rift plus Touch VR reality system.
Oculus Rift.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on Amazon, and what they have it priced at is just absolutely ridiculous.
Shit, man, they're killing you. This shit's still $350 at Best Buy.
Do they have them at Best Buy?
It does say sold out. It does say sold out. All right, let me stop myself. It does say so. Amazon pulling some eBay shit. They know, but they probably got the only ones left to stroking motherfuckers for it.
Look at this shit. Look at this shit. That's crazy. I don't
have the Oculus Rift. I don't have the Oculus Rift S. It has that inside out tracking, but a lot of the bigger YouTubers saying that, you know, they prefer the sensors because they think the sensors are superior tracking to the inside out tracking. And so with that being said, I think we lucky that we got an Oculus Rift before they ran out. And you know, once you get that third sensor, there'll be nowhere that you can turn where the sensors won't be able to pick up your where you at.
Wow. I tell you what, man. Like I said, I'm happy with the with the Oculus that I have. And honestly, like I said, I don't think it would be worth the extra like $400 that you would pay for the Vive, especially if you're going to get the Vive Pro, because the Vive Pro is the only one that has the better resolution. So yeah.
So Lunkin, to answer your question, I would go with if you can find an Oculus Rift, not the Oculus Rift S, I would go with the Oculus Rift, especially if you can still find it for $350, because the Vive, I do not like those controllers. I tried it once. They are some weird looking controllers. They are big. They are clunky. I do not like them. I like the Oculus Rift controllers. So if you can find an Oculus Rift, I would get the Oculus Rift, and I would buy a third sensor.
I like the Oculus Rift controller as well. I just hate where they put the home button on the Oculus Rift touch controllers. Now, I know you've done that, Lincoln. You've been playing the game and you accidentally hit that damn button that sends you into the home screen where you have the control panel and stuff sitting there. That's been my biggest pet peeve thus far, especially when I'm playing Robo Recall.
You know, the biggest problem I have with the Oculus controllers is that each controller has two triggers. The top buttons are the triggers, and then the buttons below that, you know, which is, you know, they call them the grip buttons. Yeah, that's how you grab shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm playing games where you have to throw something, it is hard to throw it and release that trigger just enough to throw it, but not enough that the controller flies out of your hands. So whenever I play games where I'm going to be throwing stuff, I make sure I put those straps on and tighten them up. So if the controller flies out of my hand, then, you know, then it won't fly into my TV.
Dude, I was throwing them controllers all over the place, but I had to put the straps on. I had to put the straps on. Outside of that, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, if you get the Oculus, you'll be very happy. You will not be disappointed. They give you like 6 free games, 2 of them which are apps. And they're like drawing apps and where you can create your own animations and stuff. Like, it's really, really dope.
They even have a couple of educational tools in there. You know, like one of them, I forgot what it's called, but you can basically disassemble a jet engine and piece by piece, and, you know, put it back together. I think there's another.
Wait, the one where you put the discs inside the little thing, and then like it's like a 3D printer that starts printing shit out.
I don't know about all that. I only looked at this thing for a split second. Um, you know, yeah, like I said, I had a jet engine in front of me, and I was spinning it around all different angles, and then I took the thing apart and spread everything out of the way, and went to go try to put it back together. I couldn't put that shit back together, and I closed it.
Hey, did you download Apex? I forgot what it's called. It's called Apex something.
Apex Construct?
I think that's what it is.
Is that the game where you got a bow and you shooting that shit?
Yeah, no,
on the PlayStation VR.
No, not that. It's a first-person shooter, and it's supposed to be like fast-paced. Give me 1 second. Let me turn on the Oculus app real quick here. I'll tell you exactly what it is right now, because I could not get that shit to work to save my life. I mean, it works as far as the game starting up, but as far as the movement, I just couldn't get with it with the movement, dog. Like it wasn't working, because you're supposed to like dash around and stuff like that. It does give you an area where you can move around within like a certain square feet of area. Oh shit. What just happened? Oh, okay, there we go. It is called Library Apex Tournament. It's a free-to-play game called Apex Tournament.
At the Oculus store?
Yeah.
Let me check it real quick, because I got the Oculus app on my phone. I got the Oculus and the Steam app on my phone.
Wait, if you download stuff to your Oculus app on the phone, does it go to the computer automatically or go to your account?
For the most part. You said Apex what? Tournament?
Apex Tournament. Yeah, it looks like a guy running with lightning behind him.
Oh, yeah, I see that. I see it. Yeah. But it's a free-to-play game, so that's the best price. It only takes 1.1 gig of space, but it shows it in the graphics. I ain't gonna lie. You know, the bigger the file these games are, the better the graphics looks. The more detailed it is. It's just a cold hard fact.
Oh yeah, of course. More assets that went into actually making a game, for sure.
So it is a free game, so I will definitely download it. Now, what will happen is if you you can install it from your phone, but your PC has to be on for the installation to take place. Same thing with Steam. You can do the same thing from Steam.
Well, yeah. See, I ain't got a problem with doing with the app from Steam. However, I do have to download the Oculus app because I don't have the Oculus app. Yeah. No, I mean, but for the most part, though, like I said, if push came to shove and I wanted to get somebody interested in VR, I would recommend PlayStation VR first if they own a PlayStation. If they own a PC and they have, the specs, if they have the specs required for VR and they have a VR capable video card, then I would definitely refer them to the Oculus, if that makes sense to y'all.
Top Dog is telling Lunkin he should wait for the Rift S. I disagree. I think he should go with the Rift. For one thing, the Rift S, and they are being criticized about this, does not have the I think it's the IPD adjustments. I think that's the button underneath the Rift where you can adjust the focus. Eye distance. The Rift S does not have that. The Rift runs at 90 hertz, whereas the Rift S runs at 80 hertz. And I guess for the most part, they were saying that they can see the difference in some games, but for the most part, it was hard to tell the difference. And they were saying that because of the different lenses, because I think they're made with different lenses. I think the Rift S is made with a LCD lens, and because of that, the darks aren't as dark as a regular Rift.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I mean, it is the newer version of the Oculus. And
they're calling it a lateral move. They're not calling it an upgrade. They're calling it a lateral move. So like for people who already have an Oculus Rift, the consensus is not worth it to get a Rift S because you're not really gaining anything. It's just a lateral move.
Right.
But I mean, I'm not gonna say that he shouldn't get a Rift S. What I'm saying is that if you can find a Rift instead of the Rift S, I would take the Rift. But I will say that though, if you don't want to deal with a bunch of wires, The Rift S, eliminates some of that wires because you won't have the sensors. It's got inside out tracking. So there won't be any sensors. It should be just that one wire running from the headset to the PC.
The thing is, the sensors don't bother me because they're out of the way, so that has never really been a big issue for me. However, I think I may pick up the Rift S as an additional headset regardless, because what I'm about to do is I'm about to build my son a gaming PC. And with that, I'm pretty sure he's going to want to get into VR. They're going to want to get into VR as well. So, I have those plans already planned out, and that I plan on having them do, live, have them build their own computer. I'm just going to sit there and monitor.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because everybody says that building PCs are so hard and maintaining PCs are so hard and starting up games are so hard and PC gaming, I just hear a lot of people crying about how hard PC gaming is and how games just mess up so much on PC. We'll have to see, man.
Right. I did build a PC before. I probably did about 60% of the work. Dude I work with, he knows how to build PCs.
Yeah.
And he sent me a pick list, but looking, and this was like 10 years ago. So when he came over, we laid everything out. He started was like, this goes here, and he was putting the shit in. I was like, no. Stop. Let me put the shit in. You can tell me where it goes, but let me put the shit in because the next time this happens, I'm going to be in the water by myself. So I got to learn to swim. So if it came down to it, yes, I can build a PC if it comes down to it, but I would rather not. I would rather let somebody else do it for me or buy a pre-built.
Right. Well, I tell you what, man, it doesn't really matter as long as it works. It works. Again, I don't know how you've had so much trouble with the last couple of PCs you had, unless those PCs weren't brand new and they were refurbished. Or they just use extremely cheap parts as far as the hard drive goes.
I think that's what it came down to.
Because the reason why I say that is I leave my computer running 24/7. All my computers in my house runs 24/7. I never turn them off because I always want to just be able to sit down, jump right back into where I left off. So I never turn it off.
Here's the thing, here's some things that I did notice in the performance, just little simple shit. With that cyber power, after it's been sitting around and it goes into rest mode or whatever, when I wanted to wake it back up, I would have to double click the mouse to wake it up, and it would take like 7-8 seconds for me to get a picture on the screen. With this Alienware, no matter how long it's been resting, all I got to do is just move the mouse but the slightest, and boom, it wakes up right then and there.
Yeah, they probably cheaped out on the RAM. More than likely, they cheaped out on the hard drive, because it's funny that you say that it took long for it to come up, for the screen to come up, and then the hard drive died each and every time on those PCs. It was probably some type of read error where it wasn't able to read fast enough, or whatever the case may be. But then again, a lot of that stuff is handled through the memory instead of being handled through the hard drive. The hard drive is normally for storage, but then like applications and stuff, they get loaded into the RAM so that, it's easily accessible and stuff like that. So a lot of people think things are running from the hard drive. No, it's just casually bringing stuff from the hard drive to the RAM, to the hard drive, to the RAM.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, here was the death blow for that second PC I had. On Thursday, the computer had been sitting for like maybe 4 hours. So when I tried to use it before I went to bed, I got up, double clicked the mouse to wake it up, and it did wake up, but it was frozen.
So the screen came on, but the computer itself was frozen.
Yeah. So I ended up having to do the power shut off, hold the power button for 5 seconds to shut it off. And that was the end of it. And then when I got out of work yesterday morning and came home and turned it on, because I'm like, let me get some gaming in real quick before I do this podcast. I got that black screen that says, boot, reboot and insert boot media or some shit like that. And I kept restarting the computer and kept getting that same screen exactly like the first one did. That's when I knew it was dead. And I went into the BIOS, and just like the first computer, I saw the SATA drive but didn't see the SSD drive. So that led me to believe that the SSD drive failed in this second one as well. So
yep.
So yeah, like the first PC, when I went into the BIOS and I saw the SATA drive, it was like choose which drive to start up. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, let me just find an SSD drive and start that up. Now she'll be good to go. Never saw it. That's when I took it to Best Buy, and they did the same thing. Went into the BIOS and he was like, I don't see the SSD drive, and he was like, I think it failed.
That's crazy.
And so again, the same thing happened with this one. See, that's why I bought that second computer, because I figured with the first one, maybe that was an isolated incident, or maybe it was a situation where they had some bad parts and they got them out of the system and got some new, some new revised parts or something, reworked parts, what have you. And so I was hoping that, again, that was just an isolated incident. But this second computer lasted 20 days before it took a dump.
And how much was it for the other one? Or how long was it for the other computer?
About the same, about 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, man. Stay away from those CyberPower, iBuyPower PCs.
So everything, the way the second PC died was an exact carbon copy of the way the first one died. They both lasted about 2.5 weeks before they died. They both, when I went into the BIOS, saw no SSD drive. They both displayed the same message, the boot media message. They both displayed that same message, and ironically, they both died on a Friday.
Facts. What's up? Don't call me Danny. Nah, I mean, that might just be a coincidence, though.
Yeah, the Friday thing is definitely a coincidence, but the fact that they lasted the same amount of time and died in the same manner was enough to tell me don't fuck with CyberPower again.
That's really funny though. Like
when everybody was jumping on my head about fucking with Alienware, I was like, well, shit, it can't be no worse than what I already got.
Yeah, nah, you'll probably have better luck with the Alienware PC, man. They probably put better parts in it. I mean, Dell is full of fuck niggas, but you might be able to skate with this one.
Fatal was one of the people was like in the chat. He was like, no, he was like, you just jumped out of the frying pan into the flames.
Well, here's the thing. Ever since Dell bought Alienware, they've been going downhill with the quality of the product that they provide. That's a true statement.
I get that.
But I think it's a situational thing, man. So hopefully you don't have the situation where it does turn out to be bad.
Well, the way I see it, I'm hoping that the liquid cool plays a part in the durability of this PC. I'm hoping that with it being liquid cool, that should help it last longer. I don't know. But hey, the way I'm seeing it, at the very least, I got to get 2 weeks out of it.
Oh man, you got low expectations, I see. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can laugh at this stuff because I buy warranties. Everything I buy from Best Buy that's electronic, I buy a warranty from it. Because they don't give you no shit. Other places got warranties, but then you got to go through these third parties. And chances are you're going to talk to somebody that's over in Afghanistan that barely speaks English. They're going to put you on hold for like 4 hours in the hopes that you just hang up and just give up and don't pursue the shit. You don't go through any of that bullshit at Best Buy. You take it in, tell them what the deal is, and they'll take care of it.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't have problems. I never had problems with Best Buy in regards to that. Because of me being a Best Buy Premier member, like you can bring some shit in after like 90 days and they'll still take it back.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like They really don't go there. And you are a card holder with Best Buy, correct? You have a Best Buy credit card, right?
Say that again.
You have a Best Buy credit card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they come on, bro. They don't give a damn about that. Oh, you want to return it? Oh, you ain't trying to get your money back. You just want to return this junk and get another one. They're gonna be like, okay, give us a second. We'll go to the back and get your new PC. What's up? Did they give you a refund on that black tie program though? Because I know you bought the black tie program on the last two computers.
Well, I'll put it this way. What's up, Carlos? The real Carlos. I'll put it this way. Both PCs, they gave me my money back for both the PC and the warranty that I purchased.
Right.
And so that was it. So when I bought this Alienware, you know, in the video, they said, you want, you know, the warranty? Absolutely.
Right. Hey, tell me this. Did you see that Marvel game Powers United VR on the Oculus store?
Yeah, but from what I saw, I agree with the reviews that I saw. The reviews say that it's very repetitive and there's really no campaign.
So what do you actually do?
You just fighting waves of enemies. The difference is that whatever hero you choose, you will be fighting them in the manner of what that hero's power is. You know, so I was curious, you know, because I wanted to be Thor and throw that hammer at him.
Does it have locomotion though? Do you actually get to move like properly?
That's what I don't know. It is an Oculus exclusive, and they will not drop the price on that shit. It's $40, and that's the biggest reason why I haven't bought it. And because the people almost make it sound like it's a damn wave shooter, you know. And I'm not really crazy about wave shooters when it comes to virtual reality, because you standing in one spot waiting for people to come to you. I want to go in and engage them.
What have you played thus far on the multiplayer front?
I've played Zero Caliber. I played Contractors. I played Pavlov. I've played Poker Stars VR. I've played. I actually got my first multiplayer game in yesterday on the Assetto Corsa, on Assetto Corsa Competition.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were flat screen or if they were VR, but I was in VR for that multiplayer race. And a message came up. I guess they were asking somebody was asking the host to kick me out of the race. I don't know what I did. But it was like, you know, kick Lincoln.
Oh, maybe you know why you probably jumped into some private match or some crap that they had.
But some of the private matches require, like on the I think it might be a set of course. I'm not sure, but I think some of the private matches are locked and require a password to get in there.
Oh, okay. So it was just a regular. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm guessing it came down to one of two things. Either they didn't like the way I was racing, or maybe, you know, maybe because of, you know, the performance of my PC, maybe I was glitching all over the place or something.
What's up, Los?
So that's the only thing I could think of, because I don't think I was racing. I felt like I was racing with, you know, within the ethics of racing.
And you probably ain't tried that Sorrento VR, huh?
No, same thing. I read the reviews on it
on Oculus, huh?
Huh?
They don't. Oh yeah, they do. Never mind. Go ahead.
They give reviews on Oculus, but I think Oculus tries to regulate the negative reviews.
Double jump, running along walls, surprise attacks, slides jump, then slides with multiple kills is so satisfying. Relics to find along the way. I'm literally only days into the game, but it really is an absolute blast.
So one of the things that people were saying was they were saying that it was a fun game, but it was buggy.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm trying to look for the like the really bad reviews.
Yeah, exactly.
Because usually what happens is people are more honest, so to speak, when they're upset. But it's so stupid. They don't even have it where you can filter the oh yeah, you can. Never mind. Okay, Oculus got their shit together. Let me go for the 1 stars and see what they saying.
Okay. Um, but yeah, I definitely want to try that Sorrento because it looks like it's fun. You know, and then you can like I think like that quantum break shit. I think you can freeze time in slow motion,
Right.
and I think it's a multiplayer game on top of that.
Gotcha. Oh
So it
wow.
was definitely a game that had my interest.
Falling through the level. Skydiving simulator. There was a
Hey,
calibration.
I went into the virtual strip club though a couple of days ago.
Wait, what?
Man, they got full blown porn games in Steam in VR.
Really?
Yeah, I stumbled across that shit, and one of them, dude, had a chick on a table and was blasting her ass. Um, but what like this dude? I'm sure you heard of Mr. 4K Upscaler, right?
Yeah, Mr. 4K upscaler. Yeah, he
Yeah,
do all
he
the 4K
put a
TV
stream
videos.
of this game called VR Paradise, and it's a free to play game where you in a strip club and you move from all these different seats and shit like that, and you know, and you can go sit next to a chick and ask her to dance, and you know, you can ask her for a table dance or ask her for a private dance. Now that's where the bullshit come in. You got to pay for those dances. You got to be, you know, you got to be VIP to get those dances.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
There is titties there. There is titties in there because the girls that dance on the stage on the strip poles and shit like that, they do take their tops off.
Yo, that's wild. That's some wild shit, dog.
Hey, but the game is highly detailed though for a free to play game because you know the chicks don't look all pixelated and video gamey and shit like that. They actually it's actually detailed. So they give you this trial to fuck with you, right? You know, you can get a trial, you know, private dance, right? So you're in the room with the chick and she dancing and shit like that. And the shit looked like it was real for a second. The chick grabbed my knees and, you know, put her face in between my legs like she was about to blow me. So I went to go put my hand on her head and she pulled back. And so I think they give you like 60 seconds of this trial. So so they fuck you on that one. She start acting like she gonna take her clothes off right when the timer runs out. But that was the free to play one. But there's actually a ton of adult VR games on Steam. It's a shitload of them. Like I'm telling you, man, it's got to be like thousands of VR games on Steam. Because it's like if you just type in VR, it's like 190 pages or some shit like that worth of games on it.
Man, you know what I want? I want like a home building simulator in VR where you could literally build your home from the ground up and shit like that and like customize everything around. I want a game like that, but I highly doubt that they're gonna make something like that.
If you look hard enough, I wouldn't be surprised if you can find something like that because a VR like man, there's a lot of VR headsets that's coming out this year. Starting with the lowest with the Labo VR, which came out yesterday. We've got the Oculus Quest and the Oculus Rift S, which is supposed to be out at the end of this month. Then we also have the Valve Index, which is Steam's exclusive headset. They're supposed to start taking pre-orders for that May 1st. There's another one called the Asus Ojo Concept D. And then the last one, the HP Perverb. Well, there's also the Vive Cosmos. I think that's their version of the Oculus Quest that's coming out. And then this HP Perverb, the reason why I wanted to be specific about that one is because it's used for businesses. Businesses use this headset, and it's got some kind of backpack that you wear for whatever reason. With that being said, I wouldn't doubt if they use that HP Perverb, you know, in businesses. I wouldn't be surprised if they use it to construct buildings and shit like that in virtual reality. So with that being said, I'm led to believe that if you look hard enough, you might be able to find
it. Zero Caliber.
That is the game that it was originally supposed to be. It was originally supposed to be called Special Forces. That game was supposed to that was going to be the game that was really going to be the Rainbow Six of virtual reality. But for whatever reason, they scrapped it. At some point, they scrapped it and started over, and now we got Zero Caliber. It was supposed to be a cross-play game where you can Vive, Oculus, and PSVR players could play. but it hasn't made it to the PlayStation VR yet. You know, Vive and Oculus can still play with each other on that game, but PSVR hasn't gotten into it yet.
Right.
There is a lot of games that, in my opinion, should be able to make it to the PlayStation VR platform, but for whatever reason, is not there. I don't know if it's a case of these developers not wanting to pay for a dev kit, or if the PlayStation the PlayStation VR is too hard for them to convert it. I don't know what the deal is.
Nah, bro, it's always money, dog. It's always money involved. So,
but with the PlayStation VR leading the market, I would feel like it would be, I feel like it would be ignorant for them to overlook the PlayStation VR.
Not if they're trying to grow the PC VR market.
That's true, but a lot that I'm speaking of is like a lot of these independent studios. That's why I was asking. That's why I was wondering if one developer actually said it. They were asked how come if they were going to bring it to the PlayStation VR, and they was like, we'll have to see how the game does on PC, and we're trying to decide if we want to buy a dev kit for the PlayStation VR. So
right.
So for these indie developers, that made me wonder how much does that come into play with them as well.
You know what? That's a very interesting take on it. That does make sense, because one thing that these developers say is, like, there's this MMO game that went to the Xbox, and the developer said the reason why it didn't go to PlayStation is because they didn't have enough money to develop it for the PlayStation. And I guess Sony was like, nah, y'all can go fuck yourself with that free-to-play game. You know what I'm saying? So they strictly developed it for the Xbox. I guess if it does well there, then maybe Sony will pony up the cash for them to develop it on the PlayStation. You know how that goes.
Yep.
Popularity, bro. If the game is popular, because the thing is, I guess Sony don't really want to take any risks on other people's games no more. I guess that's just how they feeling right now. They feeling like, you know what, we just gonna focus on our shit, and whatever comes, extra, then we'll get it when we get it.
And I can't blame Sony for feeling that way, because they probably spent a lot of money developing their own games, and market deals with other developers, as well as publishing games that they didn't retain the rights to.
Right.
So they probably spent a lot of money for all that shit, and they might be wanting to scale back a little bit. Whereas Microsoft, on the other hand, I feel they didn't spend shit.
Well, they didn't. But see, this is the thing. I mean, with Sony, I guess with some of these deals, I don't think all of these deals were done, amicably. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of this stuff was, okay, now that we've made money off the release of this game, now we'll go ahead and release it on other platforms. But Sony was like, yo, that wasn't part of the deal. You know what I'm saying? So, I would be pissed too if I spent millions of dollars helping you develop something, and then you go just take it to the competition. Like, what the fuck? What is this?
This dude here.
Who?
Check the chat.
Oh, Spacebar niggas unite.
This dude here. This
man.
Dude here.
I got two keyboards, nigga. One to my left and one to my motherfucking right.
Hey, for the record, I do have 3 PCs. I have my Alienware. I have this Lenovo PC that I'm sitting at right now, and then I have the PC in the closet that I built about 10 years ago.
Man, what is that running? Like Windows 98? Like,
it's running
what the hell is that?
It's running Windows,
Vista,
it's Windows 7. It's running Windows 7 because when I built it, see, remember when I said I was, burning my own games? Yeah. Well, the dude would modify the Xboxes for me. He would flash the Xboxes. This dude, it was a whiz kid. He fucks with computers. He fuck with laptops. He fucked with everything. So I had got a burnt copy of Windows from him.
Shit, I haven't had a burnt copy of Windows and God knows how long.
Yeah, now don't get me wrong, their network recognized that it wasn't a genuine copy of Windows, but it still allowed me to do my day-to-day functions. It's just some of the premium features, I guess it locked me out of them, but there was features that I didn't even know about. So
Yeah, now you know why I never really cared about that, because you can go to like certain places on eBay and Amazon, and you can get keys for like $2-3, bro. Like
yeah,
that's
that's a different story now, but we talking
yeah.
about where shit still costing $190 and shit like that. And that was, through getting burnt copies was the only way I knew how to get them without paying for them.
Oh nah, even back then I wasn't burning them. I was putting them on flash drives. I had bootable flash drives. So yeah, I trust me, I definitely understand. I am not above piracy. I am not above piracy. Especially when it comes to Windows. Fuck Microsoft and a
True
Windows
fact of the
shit.
matter is the only reason, the biggest reason I don't do it anymore is because these games go on sale pretty quick, But I mean, I don't know how I would. And plus, I don't want to. I don't want to spend time trying to learn how to get around that shit again and stuff like that. I just want to play games.
Yeah, all I'm gonna say is ABGX 360 was like life. And when
Oh
that
yeah,
shit went down,
without that ABGX 360, there was no point in even burning the games because that was the program that was tricking the Xbox, making it think it was a genuine copy.
nah, because what people was doing is they was putting up files that would literally get you fucked up. And what ABGX 360 did was verify that it was the valid files. And if it wasn't, it would then download the valid files and then patch it into the ISO.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in my case,
Shout out to Microsoft. I made a lot of money off of Microsoft,
who
man.
you telling, man? I couldn't get no fucking sleep between how long it would take me to burn this shit, how long it would take to download it because I didn't have a fast internet connection, and then the recommended blanks that you should use was verbatims. And you had to burn it on the slowest possible speed. If you try to burn it at a fast speed, the shit was gonna fuck up.
And they had the newer verbatims, which weren't as good as the old silver verbatims.
Mhm.
And yeah, that would end bad as well.
But hey, I mean, when all was said and done, I had close to 300 games.
I used to use Memorex too, just to be honest with you.
I
Like
did, I did too,
I never
because
went for verbatims because they was way too expensive. Who the fuck finna pay like I think it was like $70 for 50 CDs? I'm like, nah, y'all can go fuck
I
y'all.
was paying $60 for 50 CDs, but I was ordering them through Newegg because at Best Buy you was paying like $40 for 15 CDs.
Facts.
And then the thing about it is not every single disc was guaranteed to burn. Even the verbatims
Well,
failed.
no. I told you not to even ask me that. Oh, my
So,
bad, Lincoln. I ain't mean to
oh,
interrupt
you
you. I was
good?
trying to
Area
go
Drake,
through
what's
something.
up?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
but no, that's what my thing is though, man. Like Oculus is great. It's great. I enjoy the Oculus.
mm-hmm.
I really do.
Me
And right now I'm about to go dumpster diving on the Oculus store and on the Steam store to see how many more VR games I can locate.
too. Okay, I think I'm going to get ready to go do a test stream. Now that I
Okay.
pretty much got everything back in place, I think I got every.
Oh, let me get that video for you. I'm gonna give you the video to show you how to
Oh
do
yes, yes, please,
that.
please, please, because that was the stopping point right there. And I'm definitely going to go into the settings and turn that beta on, what you were talking about.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, if you are able to get into it right now without the Oculus headset on, all you have to do is go to settings in the Oculus app, go to beta, and then you should see something that says public test channel. You want to turn that on. And then
Mm-hmm.
when you turn on the public test channel, you want to restart the Oculus. It should do it by itself, and it's going to download an update. It's going to download an update. But let me get that video for you real quick before we
Okay,
go.
yes, yes, absolutely.
Let me see. History.
You can put that in the link. You can put that in the chat right here, being that you're a moderator.
Yep, yep, yep. Where is it? I had to scour the internet for this too. It was not easy to find.
I believe it, because all the videos that I looked at in regards to Steam Lab and streaming on Twitch and YouTube, all it would do was tell you how to start the stream. It would get you as far as setting the shit up, get as far as hitting the go live button, but it did not tell you how to title the shit through YouTube so you don't overwrite a previous video.
Yeah, you shouldn't be overwriting your videos either.
But that's what was happening. See, I think what was happening, like, see, the one thing about the YouTube Creator Studio. So let me go to the Creator Studio right now. I've got a couple of past videos in my upcoming event.
Whoa. Go ahead.
So, like, live streaming, go to live streaming, and then when I go to events, there's already
no. Let me tell you what you need to do. First and foremost, when you go to the YouTube Studio, leave the fucking beta. The beta is trash, my guy.
Oh yeah,
if you go all the way down to the bottom, go to Creator Studio Classic. Once you go to Classic, you know it's gonna ask you why you want to go to Classic, but nobody really cares about that. Anyway, once you go to Classic, you want to go ahead and go to live streaming. And once you go to live streaming, all I do is I title my videos right there. And then when you hit stream in OBS, you ain't got to do nothing else. It's going to automatically use what's in your live stream.
Okay,
also, I put the video there so you can use it.
So I'm going to go to live streaming, at events, and then, like, so as far as events goes,
don't go to events. Go to stream now.
Okay.
Go to stream now. Once you go to stream now, you can type in your title, your tags, all of that good stuff. And then, you know, if you're getting ready to just schedule a stream, just hit the schedule next stream button, and it'll schedule it for the next hour. Now, once you do that, when you get into OBS, all you have to do is hit stream on OBS, and it'll automatically use what you left in the stream now box.
Okay. So my question is, let's say new test stream. So you could go into the stream options. Like, let's say, like you said, I type all that stuff in right now, but I don't want to stream it right now.
Right. You don't have to stream it right now. Whatever you type in there.
Actually, that is what I'm trying to say. My bad. So let's say I go into the stream now. I type in the title of the stream. Is there a save button that will hold it? So when I do hit the go live button from the Streamlabs, it'll pick that title up.
Yes, that's correct.
So where do I go to find that save?
You don't have to go anywhere to find it save. It automatically saves.
I remember now. You type that in and hit the enter button, and it'll save it.
You don't have to hit save. Just type in whatever you're gonna type. As soon as YouTube detects that there's a change, you'll automatically see that it's saving.
Okay, so that takes care of that. So once I figure out this overlay shit,
did you get a video? I put the video in the chat.
Yeah, I put it. I saved it to the put it to the watch later.
Oh, okay, good.
So I can watch it on my own time and not try to split my brain in half talking to this chat and trying to watch that video.
And what you do is you come back to stream now when you start the stream, go back to stream now and then hit the 3 dots and pop out the chat. Once you pop out the chat, everything else you can do in the VR headset. Well, actually, you can pop out the chat in the VR headset. Of course, you have to go to the virtual desktop so you can actually see your desktop and not the VR home. It sounds a lot more complicated than it is.
It really does. So, like you saying, first things first, I got to turn on that beta.
Let it download the update. Once it downloads the update, it's going to restart the Oculus. Once you restart the Oculus, the only thing you have to do from there is title your video, stream, and then go to your headset, and then make sure you pop out the chat. And then you want to pin the chat to a place where you can see it, but it won't interfere with your gaming.
Okay, so do you use the Oculus controllers to sort of like pull that chat?
Yes.
What you do, like use that, like the grip button to.
Right, you use the grip button, and once you grip it, you pull it out of the virtual desktop. I know that sounds weird.
No, that actually sounds easy. But like when you go, like when you move in the direction of the chat, will it highlight the chat box so you can pull it out of there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. 1000%.
All right.
If I knew how to record what was actually in my headset, I could make a tutorial on how to do that shit to make it easier. But it literally takes me about a minute to do it. It's really, really simple.
Okay, but yeah, you definitely got me going in the right direction. So
yeah.
So I'd probably say, based on what you told me right now, I caught about 75% of it. A lot of shit is just, trial and error, actually seeing it for yourself. But, based on what I took in from you, I got most of it.
Yeah, and you're gonna find out that it's really, really easy to do it. Plus, my third sensor is like 6 stops away. So my joint is about to get here. So I'm about to get out of here. Okay. So I can prep to set this shit up.
One other thing that I did, you may need to do this.
What's up?
I had to buy another USB cable. I bought a male-female USB cable.
I already got hundreds of those that just
yeah. I bought a 14-foot one to make sure I had enough room to get that sensor behind me.
No, mine, the sensor that I bought comes with the 16-foot cable.
That Oculus sensor does?
Yeah.
I didn't know they had that option. I just saw it, clicked it, boom, then that was that.
Yeah.
And then when I actually got it, I was like, it ain't enough cord to get this thing behind me.
Yeah.
And then
did you buy it from Amazon? Because that's where I got it from.
No, I bought it from Best Buy.
Oh shit, they already delivered it. It's sitting on my porch.
Huh?
Motherfuckers don't even knock. Sons of bitches.
You got it already?
Yeah, it's sitting on my porch. You know how when Amazon deliver, they take a picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sitting on my porch.
Okay, shit, do what you got to do. I'm looking forward to hearing if it helped with your experience, Eddie. Don't call me Danny. Absolutely, I'm going to get that new Vader Immortal game. I was actually concerned that game was going to be an Oculus Quest exclusive, but it will be coming to the Rift as well. So without question, I will be getting that game. Again, 2019 is going to be the biggest year for VR. So many heavy hitters coming this year for VR.
Dude, they're not gonna split up their the base. Everything that's gonna be on the S will be on the Oculus Rift, bro. If that's what you're worried about, you don't have to be worried about that, because you're not gonna alienate the millions of people who just bought your headset.
Yeah,
for your new headset. That would be the dumbest thing that you could ever fucking do. So you ain't got to worry about that, man. It's gonna work.
Oh yeah, no question, Danny. When I get it, there's no question that I'm going to stream it.
Only Xbox would do something like that, dog.
True. Now that Sick got me going in the right direction of how to put the chat inside the Oculus headset, I'll probably be doing way more streams from the PC than the PlayStation.
When does Vader Immortal come out?
That people are speculating that it is going to launch day and date alongside the Oculus Rift and Oculus Quest, which they believe is coming out April 30th at the end of this month.
Hey, Junior. April. Never mind, you do it. Go outside and get me that box that's sitting on the porch.
Let me see if I can find a release date for this.
Dude, never knock twice. Dude, I'm sitting literally almost by my front door. And nobody heard the door knock. I have a doorbell. They didn't ring the doorbell. They didn't do nothing. They just left it on the porch. Like, nigga, get that shit. April. Yeah. On the front porch, not the back porch.
I'm trying to Google to see what the release date is for Vader Immortal, but I'm not seeing anything that stands out at me. All I know is that it'll be out this year, and again, people are speculating that it's going to come out day and date with the Rift S and the Quest.
Rift S. The only thing I like about the Quest is the fact that it's wireless. But then again, from people who have used it, they say that they have to scale the games way back just to get them to work.
Not only that, another issue that that's got people kind of fussing is that it doesn't appear that you can hook it up to a TV so you can show people what you're playing. But I guess you can hook it up to a phone.
Come on.
Doing an unboxing, audio unboxing.
Audio unboxing. Yeah, man. They gave me a 16-foot cable, bro, with this sensor.
Oh, the Oculus software, the Oculus setup is going to tell you that you have to hook it up to a 2.0 USB port.
Why?
I don't know why, but it says it during setup. It says do not connect more than 2 Oculus sensors to the 3.0 USB ports. The third one, anything over that, put it on the USB 2.0.
That's fine.
So not a big deal. Just
yeah, no, I see that it was a 2.0 cable extender, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But whatever. Doesn't matter to me. As long as it works.
It's going to work. You're going to get your 360-degree tracking. Now, don't get me wrong. When I first plugged it up, it acted a little bit skittish when I first plugged it up. But don't forget, I was on a CyberPower PC as well.
Nah, I'm not worried about that, man. Listen, I've had
it's going to work though.
Trying to hook this up.
It's go
just the basic Oculus. I've been having the time of my life hooking this shit up because the setup for Steam is different from the setup for Oculus, which I find to be extremely weird. Because they're both using the same headset, the same headset.
Yeah,
but it's all good though. Anyway, I'm about to get up out of here. Probably gonna do some VR streaming today as well.
Same here. I'm about to do the same. I'm about to do a stream. Well, I'm about to jump on this computer right now. Because I still want to take a look at a couple of games and still do some comparisons to this in the previous PC. But without question, whatever you stream from Oculus, I will be watching.
Absolutely. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Thank you for the invite, Lincoln. And thanks for the recommendation for the Oculus, man. I can't be more happy with it, bro.
And I'm absolutely glad that you like it because I would have felt like shit if you wouldn't have liked it.
Oh, it's not. You know what? I already kind of knew I wanted to get a VR for the PC anyway. So it was a matter of time. It was going to either be this or the Vive. And I was really going to go for the Vive Pro. But then when I started seeing that, the Vive Pro, it lacks like basic things that should come with the VR headset. They say the Vive Pro is really for people who already had the Vive and just want to upgrade to the better resolution because it doesn't come with anything really. So it's all good. But like I said, thank you, Lincoln. I'm getting up out of here. Let me go ahead and spend about an hour trying to set this third freaking sensor up.
Okay. And man, that sensor only gonna take about 5 minutes, to plug it in, plug it in and just double check that the Oculus software picked it up. You're gonna get that green check and you're good to go. Boom, that quick, 5 minutes. But I'm gonna also check in with you later on the day too, man, to see what you're doing. Maybe see if you want to play some poker or something.
I downloaded that poker. Like I told you, I don't know how to play, but I definitely try to figure it out.
Poker is easy. Now the thing about poker is when you get in there with them dudes that's trying to run you out of there, and they try to bet they whole fucking pot to try to scare you out of there. That's really the only shit you got to watch out for. But because it's with poker, it's more than learning how to play the game. It's people trying to bluff you too. So you got to, and it's a little bit easier to do that in virtual reality. When you sitting at a real life poker table, for some people, it's hard for them to bluff you because, when they look at their cards, their facial reaction usually says it all. It's the ones that can keep a straight face that the ones that be fucking you up.
Right.
So, but yeah, man, I'll let you go ahead and get at it. I'm gonna go ahead and head to my PC too and fuck with my Oculus.
Yeah, man, I gotta take a great piss and then I'm gonna get to it. Hopefully, I can start the next stream shortly.
All right, for sure, brother.
I'm out.
Thanks for dropping by. We'll catch you later. All right, and to everybody else, you know, thanks for watching. Give it a like, all that good stuff. And I definitely want to thank everybody for coming in. All in all, you know, I'm good with this Alienware PC, despite what people have to say about the shit. It is to me, it is a it right now. It seems more solid than that cyber power was in terms of performance. Now it's just a matter to see how durable this PC is, and hopefully it will last longer than 2 weeks. So we'll have to see. I will definitely keep you guys posted. As you guys probably know by now, for the most part, I am honest, because I could have easily not told you guys about the second PC taking a dump. I could have just went and exchanged it and never said a word. But that's the type of dude I am. You know, I'm not. You know, I can't look myself in a mirror, you know, telling lies and shit like that, which is why a lot of these YouTubers, I can't get that when they, you know, tell these blatant lies and shit like that. So I just can't get it. So thanks for watching, everybody. And we'll see, you know, yeah, Thomas, and I'm glad I got it sorted too. And we'll see you guys on the next stream. We'll catch you later.